and they've already got one, which was definitely unexpected. So great opportunity for the West Midlands side to climb up the Premiership standings.
Tony Kay, dad of Daniel Kay, was quite emotional after, I think.
It was a roller coaster of emotions, that game. I was on the edge of my seat. You can visibly see the frustration setting in from West Brom. They need every point possible. We've seen how strong Thunder have started the season, and Aspire here. That you'll see in years gone by, it's such fine margins in terms of Aspire, West Brom, and Northern Thunder, and performances like that, and results and lack of points in games like that can really dictate the eventual outcome. So I think Aspire dropped points to you. You beat them,
yes,
didn't you? Or was it a draw?
We beat them, yeah. Beat them 1-0.
Game week 1. So
game week 1, yeah.
They have to make up for that.
I thought this would have been maybe not slightly more tough, but I thought it might have been 0-0 for a tiny bit longer. The
problem is, I often say this, the first goal completely dictates the game.
And now, especially in the league, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
We showed that beating Aspire last time out, so... and Villa, I know it wasn't a win for Villa, but it certainly felt like one.
Absolutely. So Jordan Williams comes over to take this corner kick. Here's John Boulding, the most presentable option, who he finds, who slightly feints and then rotates spin kicks, blocked by John Dixon. I think the referee's just brought it back.
Russell's ball.
Just under 7 minutes to go. Brussels 0, Aspire 2. This would take them within a point of West Bromwich Albion. Great pass there from Lucas Christa over to Oliver Rock on this right hand side.
Championship top goal scorer last year was?
He was indeed. Very impressive throughout the championship campaign.
Got him a right to be called up into the West Brom second team from the third. Brilliant stuff. Lucas doing well to stand his ground now.
Can see Aspire just managing the game now. They're not putting too much emphasis on attacking phases of play. They're just happy with it. Slightly idle in the centre of the court. Be the exact way they would have wanted to start this weekend. Lucas Christa trying to figure out a way past Tom Kelly. That defensive organisation of the Aspire pair, so impressive. It eventually rolls out for a Throssell's corner kick.
Oh, good hitting it about there. So accurate with the passes as well, and generating a lot of power, which often you either get one or the other with in power chair football. Just shows though that they have got that quality in their team. Brussels.
Williams. Back to Boulding. Just took a ricochet off the side of Williams' chair. Looking at the score on Court B, I think Newcastle were 8-0 up against Brighton. These are probably the teams that you'll be competing with the most, Brussels and Newcastle. So
mid-table,
you'll be looking out for these results and looking to see where you can capitalise. And
all eyes on the cup now, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting if Matty Francis is at that Brussels-Brighton game in the cup.
Yeah.
And then the resulting quarter-final, should they surpass Brussels.
What's the reason for his absence this weekend?
Not sure. So, with 3 minutes left to go, Captain John Boulding takes himself off in place of Rosie Hodgson. And also, that Sally McNeil comes on for the first time this weekend.
Johnny's took a break, has he?
Yep. A sun bench over there, isn't it? John Boulding, Dan McClellan and Brad Bates.
All capable of getting in the England team.
Absolutely. Oh. Heavy contact with the ball trapped between Jonathan Davis and Jordan Williams. Eventually goes out for an Aspire goal kick.
Jordan playing in the middle, by lots of things.
Yep.
More senior member of the Aspire team, just other than Johnny.
Yep. Oliver Rock now, only half the deficit with 2 minutes left to play. Just blocked out there, prevented from advancing. Lucas Christa.
Well out there by Jonathan Davis on the far side. See if they can get Johnny sweating on the bench and get a goal back here.
It would take some doing with a minute and a half left to play.
Anything's possible in this squad.
Absolutely. Great chance here for Jonathan Davis. Rotated spin kick. Great goalkeeping there from Tom Kelly. Absolutely superb. The shot from Jonathan Davis deserved a goal almost, but Tom Kelly just angled his chair appropriately to ensure the shot, and then the eventual rebound didn't go goal bound. It remains
anywhere though.
2-0 yet. Final minute. Brussels 0, Aspire 2.
Another corner. Can we get a repeat?
Jonathan Davis.
Chair slightly.
Oliver Rock to take. He has Lucas Christa marked tightly by Rosie Hodgson and Jonathan Davis at the back post. Ricochets over to Jonathan Davis eventually, tries to look for Lucas Christa. Salim McNeil now flicks it over to Rosie Hodgson, who reverses onto it. Couldn't generate the power to get past John Dixon in the Throssell's goal. I probably would have liked to see John Dixon playing a more advanced role. I think he's really key.
I think they could have changed it about, maybe been 2-0 down and changed it up a little bit, maybe put both Lucas and John Dixon out.
Good communication there from John Dixon to alert Jonathan Davis. A chance here for Aspire to capitalise on Throssell's pushing their players up the field of play. We're now in additional time. And Aspire are going to take home the 3 points ahead of their game against Sevenoaks at 4:45. A glance at the watch from Pete Taylor.
Be under the floodlights that one, it's that late.
Absolutely. And the referee does blow his whistle for full time. West Bromwich Albion Throssell's 0, Aspire 2. both teams will take huge positives from that game. Aspire continuing to mount pressure on the teams above them in West Bromwich Albion and Northern Thunder. Throttle's unfortunate. The goal in the first half just seemed to dictate the play, and when they were chasing the game, just left a few gaps in behind for Aspire to capitalise to get their second. But overall, great game. Thank you once again, Owen, for the second time this weekend.
No worries.
Thank you for all that are joining us. Join us for the follow-up game on Court A. See you soon.
Welcome back to Court A. Just getting ready for the 2:15 kickoff. Leeds Chariots versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth having a tough time generally in the league. And I think yet to score. But suffering some very heavy defeats. Leeds will be looking to cement some good work from earlier on. I'm just looking at the table. So Leeds lying in 10th prior to today. Actually one win and a draw. So Leeds will be really looking to take some points away from this, move away from the two teams in relegation, Nottinghamshire and Bournemouth. So ref's Jeff Lewis doing the coin toss, getting ready to go. Okay, so as they kick off, I'll just take you through the teams. Got Mitchelson in goal for Leeds, Britton in the middle. And on the right, Rigby. And I'm going to say Copeland on the left, but I'm not sure. I think it's Copeland. And for Bournemouth, got Adams in goal, Skinner, Hewins and King. Sorry, Hannam and King. Getting Hannam and Hewins mixed up. So Hannam on the right away from us, King on the left, Adams in the middle in yellow, and behind him Skinner. That's the two teams. So Leeds playing away from the camera in white with their goalie in purple. Bournemouth in black and red playing towards us with their goalie in yellow. So on form, you'd expect Leeds, who are struggling to find a win, to still win well here, with Bournemouth letting in a lot of goals. Two teams just trying to figure each other out at the moment. Really important for Leeds to get some points to move clear. But equally, if Brighton gets some points, they're within touching distance of Leeds. Nice pass from Rigby, Copeland, Britton. Oh, lovely play there, just working it well, Leeds. Oh, what a touch from... I thought Rigby was going to just take it past the keeper, but done well, perhaps a bit early there, Britton on the shot. Got it covered, Bournemouth, but kind of 2 or 3 attempts into goal there. Trying to pick the ball speed up here, Leeds. Rigby again across. Britton looking for Copeland, doesn't get it. Yeah, but actually Copeland does. I thought So still with Leeds. Ooh, for a goal kick. So a little pattern of play form there. Leeds playing triangles around the Bournemouth goal area. Adams out looking for Skinner. Skinner looking to move it forward, but gets taken off him by Britton. Britton now pushes forward for Leeds. Skinner and Britton looking like the match in the centre of the park for this match. Mitchelson pushed up. Very, very high Leeds team now, all in the opposition box. Mitchelson dropping back again. Mitchelson recently transferred to Leeds. I think this will be his second game for them. Transferred from Thunder. Rigby looking for Britton. Britton, yeah, it's in, yeah. In off the post, but in off the post, in. 1-0. So 4 minutes in, 4.5 minutes in. Leeds take a 1-0 lead. All the pressure now with Leeds. Same set of moves. Triangles around the box. Skinner and Adams trying to defend it. Hannam can't really come into play. Tempted, but Skinner's got the space there. Again, back to Britton. Skinner trying to drive it away from Leeds. Britton. Are you? Sorry about that, just trying to sort commentary out on Court B. So back with this game, Leeds beat Bournemouth, it's 1-0 to Leeds. So pattern of play now pretty set for, is that another finish? Yeah, lovely finish by Copeland. 2-0 to Leeds. Bournemouth haven't really got any answer to the triangles that are being played around them. They've got Skinner and Adams acting as the spine of the team. Hannam and King playing wide, but there's no out. So it's allowing Leeds to play round the two of them and set up those opportunities, which Leeds have started to take. So again, very quickly, Leeds put the press on, and as a result, we've got that Rigby Britton passing move. Mitchelson coming high. You can see there how far the Leeds setup is with Mitchelson right above the into the halfway line. Now kick for Leeds, and of course with that pressure and so high, more likely to get 2-on-1s against Bournemouth. So well read by Adams. Again, the ball's straight out, back at them. There's this the break there. King, oh, that was it. King needed a shot at that to have a chance. Quickly taken from Britain. Britain looking for Rigby. Rigby gets it. Is Rigby going to swing at that? No, it's just, oh, beautifully. Just kept it in. It's with Skinner. It keeps the pressure on, and I think he's going to either work it away or look for a corner. To Britain. Pressure on the goal again. Adams having to work hard backwards and forwards. Reading the play and the crosses. Just really lovely play there from Leeds. All the way around the box. Moving Skinner and Adams with them. Skinner and Adams kind of forming an imposing wall, following the ball, but just perhaps an extra metre of pace from Leeds. And Adams and Skinner aren't going to reach it. Right, so back with Copeland. Copeland lets it go out for a Leeds kick. Mitchelson for Leeds. Copeland gets the deflection off King. Another kick for Leeds. Britain with the kick to Mitchelson. Risk of interception there from Britain. Mitchelson's the last person for the team. Peels it off King. They're going to have to back off. So that's good play by Mitchelson. Driven it into the box and forcing Skinner away. And the ref's given it. So King with the ball there, giving Skinner no choice but to back off until the point at which he had to leave the pitch, which he couldn't. So, an attempt right on the edge of the box. Mitchelson, guess he's looking for Rigby. I don't know if Rigby's going to go straight for goal or pass to Copeland. Let's see. Swapping around the keeper and the player. That seems to have opened up more space. So need pace on the ball here from Leeds. Well read by Skinner. Ooh. 2-on-1 Copeland, Mitchelson. I think this is what we've seen in a lot of the previous games, is that Skinner and Adams are able to read the ball, read the play, intercept there. But they're facing too many plays and just the percentages are against them, as you know, they're getting more goals scored. Yeah, get another triangles around the box. Lovely, lovely interplay. Hannam kind of kept out of it. Again, the 2-on-1 one at risk. But yeah. Half wonder with Bournemouth's defensive capability. You know, they better facing a free kick than having Leeds play the ball continuously around them. Adams now with the kick for Bournemouth. Looking for King, nearly found him, but Rigby read it, intercepted. Skinner now have to do, now that's it, that's where Leeds are moving it, the past gone. Ooh. King coming in, potential 2-on-1, but didn't give it away. Ball's moving faster than Adams. Britain back to Rigby. Adams has read that. So there's no pressure on Leeds to change what they're doing here. They've got the 2 goals, evidently making opportunities. They can just keep doing it. What are Bournemouth going to do to change this situation? 2-on-1 given away there by Mitchelson, coming in too deep. So another chance for Bournemouth to move the ball up the park. Leeds pressed high on them though. Skinner's dropped back. That's just giving no choice, is it? So with Skinner back behind him, Adams has got very little option, so he's back to Skinner. Skinner immediately caught by Rigby, and Copeland finishes it. Feels like they brought that on themselves, Bournemouth, by dropping back under the Leeds press before the kick was taken. So 3-0 to Leeds, just over 5 minutes left in the first half. Skinner intercepted by Mitchelson. Mitchelson swapped goalie shirt with Britton. Britton now playing the last person for Leeds. Mitchelson moving up. Look very comfortable and settled now, Leeds, moving the ball well between them. And they don't look like a team that's right at the bottom of the table. I can't remember their fixtures. It might be, of course, that they had a couple of really tricky fixtures at the beginning in the first weekend of fixtures. Let's see if we can find that out for you. So Leeds drew with Teesside, beat Brighton, lost to Aspire, lost to West Brom, and lost to Throssels. So West Brom and Throssels and Aspire, teams that you'd expect to find nearer the top of the table. Leeds should be fighting up there, so that's the results so far. Looking good already against Bournemouth. Scoreboard says 4-0, although I've only counted 3. Have I missed one? So they got a set play in the Bournemouth. Adams is going to come up to take it. Skinner's not putting any pressure on anyone there. Hannam to Skinner. Gets across Skinner's bumper, allows Rigby in. Rigby now putting pressure on down the left wing for Leeds. Skinner trying to play it off Rigby, but sees that coming, goes straight out. Kick to Leeds. Mitchelson down the left hand side. Mitchelson to Rigby, looking to see this come across to Britton. Britton looking for Copeland. Copeland to Mitchelson. Mitchelson with a strike. Ooh, unlucky. Well positioned again though from Matt Adams. He's reading the shots, but they're getting so many against them. That's when they just eventually they'll let some in. Hannam just ball running away from him there and gone too far. Mitchelson on the right wing for Leeds. Britton behind him, Copeland up the wing and Rigby on the far left, and then facing us Adams in goal for Bournemouth, Hannam on the right as we're looking at it, Skinner in the middle, King up front. Just a little drift in the possessional pattern here. Bournemouth getting a little more. I'm just overhearing on court B, Thunder scoring again, so I think that's them 6 out of 6 now for the league. I believe 4 points clear at the top of the table on West Brom and Rugby. Oh, again Adams reads it. Really dogged defending. Britton, Mitchelson, Copeland back to Mitchelson. Mitchelson looking for Rigby, lovely. Just pace comes off the ball off Rigby, so nothing that Copeland can do with it. Again, they're trying to pick the pace up again. Leeds persisting with that style of play. Leeds kick. Leeds. Mitchelson for Leeds. Copeland. Oh, sorry, Britton in the box. Rigby playing deep now. Britton again. Mitchelson. And Adams and Skinner doing everything they can to keep the ball out, but essentially it's a shooting galley for Leeds again. Britton kind of hits the ball in and also puts pace on it because it's coming off the Bournemouth players at pace, so even the shots they're putting in that are being saved, they're keeping the game alive from a Leeds perspective, keeping the phase of play going. Very little Hannam and King can do other than wait for the ball to come out to them. Rigby takes it off. Britton. Lovely touch to Rigby. Rigby's trying to throw Skinner a dummy. We're looking for a corner. I think the ref's going to blow for half time. Okay, so I think it's 3-0. The scoreboard says 4-0, but Leeds unequivocally in control here. Bournemouth still looking for some respite from some otherwise really tough fixtures for them. Okay, that's half time. We'll take a short break and be back on Court A afterwards with Leeds v Bournemouth. Right, back on court A for the second half. You've just seen an own goal there, so Bournemouth now 4-0 loss to Leeds. So it's a Bournemouth own goal, and it's now 4-0 to Leeds. Got slightly different. If the camera picks up the scoreboard at the far end of the chart, it says 4. It said 4 by half time, I've now got 4, but Leeds unequivocally in the lead. I mean, that's just too early, really. You know, a goal early for Bournemouth might have just given them a bit of hope, but they haven't. Oh, if they've scored, have a look if they've scored. So full time, full table. Bournemouth have won 4. So Bournemouth have scored 1 goal, conceded well in the region of 80 now. So I can't see them coming back, but let's concentrate on what we're looking at then. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a solid win for Leeds, but now Bournemouth, you can see the setup they've got. They've got Adams and Skinner playing together as the spine, and then Hannam on the right and King on the left. And I wonder if that's almost part of the problem for Bournemouth, is that Adams and Skinner form that solid centre. Goal there, just really quickly intercepted by Leeds, and off to go. Now I have to apologise. I think I've confused number 4 and number 44. So I thought Copeland was on in the first half, and I think it was actually Taylor. So now Copeland is on, and Taylor's on the bench beside me. So 44 is Taylor and 4 is Copeland. So just saying that because they're playing so tight, Skinner and Adams, they're almost like one player. And they're just soaking up the pressure, and they're not getting anything out to King or Hannam. So there's just never any relief for Bournemouth. So, got 5-0 here to Leeds. Got Ewins and Sevenakes on the bench for Bournemouth, not played yet, and Taylor and Britton on the bench for Leeds. Both had a run out. Currently on the field for Bournemouth, got Humphreys in goal. Mitchelson playing in front of him, Rigby and Copeland's just put one in. That's now 6-0. And at this point, it's looking like, you know, Bournemouth need to get their heads up. Just really hard work for them. So saying in the first half, I think in Leeds have just as they got the confidence up, they've just picked up the pace of the ball, and then that becomes impossible for Bournemouth to deal with. So we've got Ewins on, number 18, playing away from us on the right, and Sevenoaks on, number 5, playing away on the left for Bournemouth. So 6-0 to Leeds. Sevenoaks to Skinner. Skinner gives it back to Leeds. Richardson has Ewins and Sevenoaks on him, looking for Copeland. It's gone out. Sevenoaks, it's the back of Skinner's chair. Sevenoaks again. Ewins. Trying to turn with the ball, runs away from him. It's now Leeds kick in. Rigby. Oh my word, I'm not sure if that was deliberate, but nearly got an own goal off Adams' bumper. Corner to Leeds. And I'm guessing he's looking for Richardson. Richardson, nice firm shot. Skinner's read it. Big hit by Rigby. Comes off Adams. Deflection off Skinner now, so Bournemouth with a chance to break, and it's picked up again by Leeds. Leeds on the attack once more. Ewins comes in. Mitchelson and Rigby in two minds there as to who was going to take the ball. Backed off to avoid the 2-on-1. Kick to Leeds. Just relentless pressure. Out again. And that's the other thing getting here, with Leeds hitting the ball at pace, even when it does get intercepted by Bournemouth, it's hard for them to regain control, and often it'll go out. Rigby with a shot, easy, clear shot. Again, the pace of the ball there beating Adams, who had read where it was going, just couldn't reach it. Good interception by Mitchelson. Now we're saying on commentary earlier in the day, some of these might look like dead rubbers when the score gets like this, but you've got the England coach Colin Gordon on the balcony today, and some of the FA performance team. So it still matters, all the moves these players are making. Some of them they'll already be in the development or the full squad, or they'll have aspirations of a call-up. That next generation of players. Logan Mitchelson playing at the back for Leeds at the moment. He's in the Scottish international squad. I think the hole of the ball didn't cross the hole of the line there. The ref was very well positioned. Not giving it. Perhaps a little more aggression from Rigby would have done it, but that's 7-0. And just tried to lure Skinner in there, but he didn't back off and got the deflection, so it's a corner. Rigby with the corner. What we got here? Touch from Mitchelson to Copeland. No, he's gone for the near post. Easily covered by Adams. 2-on-1, yeah, a bit unlucky, but nothing wrong with the rest decision. Rigby just in too quick to try and play that. Bournemouth with a rare chance at controlled possession to Skinner. Skinner lets it go through, or tries to let it go through to Sevenoaks. Mitchelson's read it and intercepted. Got a substitution. Jack Britton coming on for Logan Mitchelson. Looks pleased with the performance. I think that's his second match for Leeds. Mitchelson, a recent transferee in the transfer window. Closed a couple of weeks ago. So Mitchelson, a transfer from Thunder to Leeds. Bournemouth with unchanged squad. Rare phase of pressure. Humphreys in goal for Leeds. Rigby playing behind Humphreys to act in the wall. Again, if you look at the camera angle, I think we can see far out on the left we've got Copeland just waiting. So if all needs to do is Leeds need to do move the ball quick, and they get the momentum back. So here's Skinner and Humphreys just tangoing with the ball across the court. Got Sevenoaks very high, looking for the ball off Skinner, doesn't get it. Rigby to Copeland, Rigby backs off, trying to find Britton. Great pass by Rigby. Just, oh, lovely getting it past Skinner. Skinner now in no man's land. Can Rigby reach Britton? Doesn't, and Skinner's read it. And back. Skinner having to do all the work here. I think maybe Ewan's chair's stuck. Oh dear. Technically the right decision. Ewan's with his chair stuck and can't move, and so the ref has to give a 2-on-1 against him as Skinner moves in, but advantage to Leeds. So it's indirect. Rigby to Britton. Rigby with the towel. Britton very unlucky, just didn't quite get the finesse, the angle on the touch, and directed it across the goal rather than in. Leeds picking the pace up. Rigby trying to find Britton, paces off it. I think ref signalling, I didn't hear the whistle, but so Adams looking for King, gets touch off King, but it's out again. No respite for Bournemouth. Leeds again, dynamic, looking to move the ball quickly. Rigby's got Humphreys, bit of a hopeful ball straight in the middle, no Leeds players there. Rigby now driving the ball round past Ewins. Adams acting as a second man. He's still in his box though, so no 2-on-1, but it's a kick in to Leeds. 7-0 to Leeds. No pressure at all on them. Just trying to, improve their team play, cycle the players on and off the pitch for match time. Where's Rigby looking for? Again, Adams reading the game well. But if the ball's too fast and there's too much space, there's not much he can do. But he stopped that attack there, just nudged the ball away from Copeland, sorry. And Britton trying to drive it in on the near post. Nothing doing there. Goal kick for Bournemouth. So let's see what happens here. Adams finds Ewins. Ewins looking for King. Skinner's off now, so Skinner's off. Ewins must be back on. Oh, King on. Britain, is this the... Ooh, Rigby left it nicely for Humphreys. Ewins. So, it's a technical issue with Ewins and his chair. Well, that's been sorted out. Rigby's come off and Taylor's on. Up and running again. Couple of minutes left. Not sure the ref would add much additional time. Britain. Nothing happening there. So, Leeds setting up for another attack. All a bit tight, you'd say. Taylor back to Britain as that comes through the gap. Yes, Copeland, he has to find Taylor. Oh, King working across well there. Put pressure onto Taylor. Although King didn't get to the ball, Taylor didn't get it on target. So kick into Bournemouth. Adams to take it. Adams, Ewins to Humphreys. Humphreys with facing 3 Bournemouth players. So he's either going to let a goal in or he's going to create a tremendous attack. He's gone straight onto Adams. He's made it to Taylor, back to... Can he get it across from Humphreys to Copeland? No, but Copeland's still in play if they can free it up. And they've got... Leeds have got Taylor on the right wing, but he's moved away. Again, if this breaks for Bournemouth, there's a chance of a goal. 2-1 Britain, and Humphreys causing the 2-1 there against Bournemouth, so possible very high, well, halfway line, so chance for Bournemouth to get some relief from the pressure. Plays it to Ewins. He's going to have a shot off King. If Humphreys wasn't quite as sharp, that might have gone in. Clock's down close to 0. Refs playing advantage to Leeds. So we're at time. How much additional time is the referee going to add? Is this it? Copeland looking perhaps for Taylor. Not sure if that was a shot or a cross. But that's the game. King with a good save. Nothing precise enough from Leeds here to open up Bournemouth. So Bournemouth working really hard to defend their goal. Relentless from Leeds, but I think ref's giving that as contact. Yep. Chris King going to the side of Britain's chair. So we're well past the 20 minutes. What we're going to see, direct. So direct kick. Not sure they'd go straight for it, but we'll see. At this stage, if you go direct with Humphreys, chance of rebound goes straight in your own goal. He's gone direct. Adams doesn't get any power on the response, and there we have it. Unfortunately, another heavy defeat for Bournemouth, and Leeds climbing up the table with a good strong win. So final score, Leeds 7, Bournemouth 0. And A for the 3:30 kickoff. The match seemed to be running a little early today, unusually for a Saturday. So if you're watching live, you might I guess about 20 past, maybe just check. Might be nearing kickoff. So kicked off now, Court B. Just thank Kate Rigby for helping out with the filming as well. And Jamie King helped out a bit earlier today. And we've got a new volunteer from NTU who's come along. Hopefully he'll enjoy himself and want to come again. That's Anga, master's student in sport law. So on this court we have West Brom Throssels versus Nottinghamshire. Throssels with Dixon in goal, Chrisser in the middle, Rock on the right and Davis on the left. And Nottinghamshire have McNaughton on their left, Sam Langley in the middle, Hadfield at the back, and G on their right. So Nottinghamshire playing towards us in the red kit. West Brom Throssels playing away in the traditional blue and white stripes of West Brom. I think on form, which I'll just check, we might expect Throssels to come out on top. Throssels lying 7th. Played 6, won 2, lost 2. At home, won 1, lost 1 away from home. So double checking. So full time as it stands, which looks like it's being updated as it goes along. Fossils 3 wins, 3 losses. Nottinghamshire no wins, no draws, 5 losses, letting in about 3 goals a game. Throssels, sorry, about 3 goals a game. Goal difference. Throssels 7 at home and 2 away, so 9. Throssels scoring just over 1 a game. Nottinghamshire kind of Nottinghamshire. Oh, can't believe that. Says they've yet to score. So on form, you'd tip this to Throssels. Oh. Krista for a gap there, wondering if it would kind of bounce in off Hadfield or Langley. Again, in a way, Nottinghamshire set up very similarly to Bournemouth. Solid goalie with a solid midfielder, they play as a spine, but the two of them play almost as one, and as a result they take one player out of the attack, and then they leave their 2 wingers up who don't get involved much. I wonder if that similar style of play is reflective of their positions in the league. Both struggling to score, both regularly going down to many goal defeats. Now let's see what Nottinghamshire bring in today. Bit of a press on. Davis let that go. Hadfield's picked it up, played it to Langley. Langley's immediately faced by Davis, who's pressing very aggressively. Gone out for a goal kick. Dixon for Thrussels. Rest let that go. I think he wondered if Langley had come in, although it looked to me like it was on Krista's playing bumper, so allowable. And Dixon and Langley working the ball hard. So Langley's got G close to him. Hadfield marked by Rock. McNaughton's is only out here unless he's going to get the ball back from G. Gets the ball back from G, but doesn't go anywhere he can take it. Rock with the ball. Gone past Langley. Langley having to work hard to keep his eye on the ball. Stuck in the middle there. So Langley's dropped away off the ball, and as a result West Brom have been able to push up. And Chris to get it round the corner, round to Rock. Rock to Davis. Davis didn't get the hit he wanted there. They're going to build it up again, Thrussels. Rock pushes the ball out inadvertently, and it's kicked to Nottinghamshire. Sam Langley again driving all the play for Nottinghamshire, as he will do probably through most of the season. I think they had a really high finish last season, Nottinghamshire, and have fallen away. McNaughton with a kick in. Previous season with the West Brom setup. He'll be familiar with the players he's facing today. Oh, nearly an own goal just by virtue of deflections, but Krista's picked it up, driving it away. West Brom now have 3 players on 2 Nottinghamshire. If they can take the ball away from Langley, then again, you know, that's good defending by Langley. Sucks the action away from West Brom. But now the ball's back with them. West Brom are just sitting on those Nottinghamshire players, and it's locked up again. Langley and Hadfield playing very close together. As a result, reducing their options on the pitch. Krista looking for Rock trying to send it around to Davis, which he manages. Ball being played round Sam Langley Hadfield at the moment. Oh, so that last ball from Davis, that's the kind of ball, beats both players because it's so fast, needs a finish from Rock, doesn't quite get his timing right, sends it wide. So goal kick to Nottinghamshire. Halfway through, balance of play somewhat towards Thrussels, but Nottinghamshire have had the odd go at the goal area of West Brom Thrussels. Perhaps not a direct goal attempt yet, but they can get there. Davis probably looking to dummy past Hadfield's front bumper, doesn't quite make it. Hadfield now, there's a lot of space behind him if the ball can get to Rock, but nothing doing there. McNaughton pays it straight to Krista. Now Rock's available. What's Krista going to do? I think he's looking for Davis. No. Well, he's just driving into Davis's space there, so that's allowed Langley to just watch the ball out. I think he's looking. Yeah, he's got the corner there. So Christa's knocked the ball off Langley's bumper for corner. So they got any special tricks in their set play? Throssels must be looking for Davis at the far post. McNaughton kept out the box by virtue of the 3 in a box rule. Only no more than two players from one team in the box. Ooh, and that was just came off the right angle from. I mean, maybe that was deliberate. I'm not close enough to see, but the deflection off Langley had a slightly different angle, and it would have probably gone in. But back with a corner for Throssels. Christa takes the corner. Rock and Langley. Ball dead between them. Ball's gone out. Advantage to Langley. Langley gets the kick. Substitutes. So Wharton on for Throssels. Davis off. Thinking from what I can see, they've got a 5-man squad this weekend. So Langley plays it to Norton. Jack McNaughton, yeah, not Norton. So McNaughton for Nottinghamshire wheels away to a far wing. Again, if you got the top view from the camera, I can't tell what angle you got. The huge gaps. So the 3 of the Nottinghamshire players bunched tightly together in defence, looking for that out for McNaughton. When they find him, he's on his own, but pressing up now, Langley. G trying to help Langley out by pushing down the wing, comes back. Christa's marking Langley really tightly, so he's not really got control of the ball so that he can play it where he wants to. I just had a 2-on-1 there, but the ref's allowed it. Let it go on. He's giving West Brom Throssels the advantage. Wharton, Langley. There's the hit. Oh, so that's the out that Nottinghamshire are looking for, but there's not enough of them in the match. Goes past McNaughton and he doesn't get a chance to swing at it. He makes contact there. There's a chance that he can put it past Dixon. And McNaughton intercepts, but Christa's well in on it. Christa driving the ball round the wing. McNaughton and Christa just vying for control of the ball. Rock and Langley. So here Christa's rolling it. If he keeps rolling it, Langley comes in and kills it, but he's done great there. He's given it to Rock. Rock's knocked it across, but read by Langley. So there's a contact there given by the ref. Ref beat Taylor. I don't know if you can see on the far side, one of the new officials. So 2 new officials for the WFA officiating team this weekend. So Christa with the ball. Christa just looking for his teammates to get in position. I guess it's going through to Wharton. She's sending it back or taking a shot. She takes a shot. Hadfield's got it read and covered. Generally, first and second ball are going to be covered by the opposition. There's not much you can do unless you move the ball really, really fast on the first one. It's can he create something interesting with a third? Hit, but no chance there. Hadfield had it covered. McNaughton driving forward, finding Langley. Langley doesn't have this, he's not positioned. So Christa. Christa on the ball for Throssels, plays it to Rock. Rock turns, but McNaughton's got it. Langley leaves it to G. G's not in on it. What's the ref given? 2-on-1 against Throssels. So chance for the press for Nottingham. McNaughton comes across to take it. Hadfield is back, so not really participating in the attack. McNaughton's only got 2 options. Langley signalling G to head behind him. I think it's direct. No, it's not direct. Refs let it go. Chance for Langley. Oh, Christa alert there. Not sure the refs have spotted the posts are awry, but there they go. Getting corrected. I'm sure you heard enough about them in the previous weekends, but new posts for this season. Talking to the players, they seem to like them. They don't move too much, you know, but they're not a hazard. Giving you a bit more certainty. You're more likely to take a shot and the post doesn't move and therefore the ball goes in. And previously the post would move with the ball, and if I just, you know, cross the line but not go into the goal. And slightly clearer marking, I think, for the refs on the rare occasion that the ball crosses the line above the 50 centimetre height, which is a disallowed goal. Throssels pressing here. So I think despite the pressure Throssels have had, and you know, some attempts on goal, Hadfield and Langley, a bit like Bournemouth, have read the, you know, between them they're reading the play, and they're just going to nudge more creativity, so they're able to push on. So at the moment it's 0-0. Neither team able to break the deadlock, but the possessional advantage with Throssels. Can they turn that possession into goals? Or, as we just saw, Forest going to sneak one onto the post. Equally capable of intricate play if everything goes right for them. So, Christa on the ball for Throssels. Gentle ball into the box, easily stopped by the Nottinghamshire defensive wall. Now with Hadfield. Hadfield the keeper. Christa picks it off him. Who's Christa looking for next? Is it Wharton? Is it Rock? If he's just locked against Hadfield, the ball's going nowhere. So he's locked against Langley now. The ball's stuck between Langley and Hadfield. And ref's given a set ball, is he? Yeah, set ball. So ball getting trapped there between the chairs, going nowhere. Ref pulls it away. Set ball. I think the clock's nearly at 0 as well. So this is likely to be the last attack. If you've joined into the half, the game's kicked off very early, so it should be a 3:30 kickoff, but it's going to be first half finishing about 3:30. Ref looking at his watch. I think we're nearly done in the first half. 0-0. There we go. Half time, no goals. Possessional advantage to Throssels. Either team capable of sneaking a goal here. We'll have a break and join you for the second half. Here we go, second half. West Brom Throttles versus Nottinghamshire. 0-0 at half time. Draw does neither team a favour here, really. Doesn't do much for Nottinghamshire. Such a, moves them above Bournemouth on points, but doesn't get them closer to the next team up. Throttles wanting to nudge some more wins under the belt. So Ollie Rock facing us on the right. Sorry, Lucas Christa on the right and Rock in the middle. Wharton on the right and Dixon at the back for Nottinghamshire. Got Kerrison on. G on the ball at the moment. Langley in the middle and Hadfield at the back. So Kerrison swap for McNaughton in this half. Langley and Christa, ball between them. Nottinghamshire playing a little higher possessionally. Hadfield moving up to the line there. Wharton keeping pace with him. Wharton a seasoned campaigner. A lot of goals on the posts she'll have scored over the years, so just needs one opportunity. Gonna have to keep alive to that Forest, but Langley trying to drive the possession forward. Hope you didn't see that on camera, throwing tablets over the balcony. So still 0-0, Throttles, Nottinghamshire. I think you could say in the first half, if Throttles kept plugging away, a chance might break for them. Otherwise, Hadfield and Langley have to play a more or less perfect defence, seeing and reading the ball properly, avoiding the deflections and catching it. Whereas Nottinghamshire have to create something different. They didn't have enough chances on goal in the first half. Christa to Rock, lovely ball across, but Didn't quite get to Davis. So Wharton off, Davis on, and we've got a substitution, I think, for Forest. Yep. McNaughton on, and I can now see 5 on the pitch. McNaughton on, looks like Kerrison off. So team lineups now: Hadfield, Langley, McNaughton, G for Nottinghamshire. Facing us, West Brom Throttles. At the back is Dixon, Christer on the left, Rock on the right, and Davis way up on the wing facing us. No goals. Nottinghamshire looking for the first win. Ahead of Bournemouth on goal difference, but level on 0 points. So a draw doesn't really change the table, but gets them a point, obviously. Whereas a win kind of starts moving them towards, you know, another win or two over the season, and maybe they stay away from the relegation battle. Langley on the ball for Nottinghamshire, looking for G. G taking it around the back of Rock, but brings it straight onto Dixon. G trying to dribble the ball through 2 players. Now again, Dixon now dribbling. Is he going to move it fast? Langley's got him. Cuts off the attack. Back between the 2 players now. Just ball dead between them. McNaughton intercepted by Dixon. Deflects off, Dixon goes out, so it's a Nottinghamshire kick. McNaughton on the ball for Nottinghamshire on their left wing. Hadfield high, but not really looking like he's going to get the ball off them. Maybe Langley's going to play. Unless McNaughton's... I wonder if Norton was dumbing it down the wing, but it's going down the wing to Langley. Langley, let's see, looking for the corner. Dixon and Davis have got him covered. Trying to pick the pace on the ball that Nottinghamshire there. This hasn't quite worked for them. Now Dixon driving forward. G looking to see that out, but it comes off G. Dixon backs away, and it's a Throttles kick in. Christer on the ball. Again, this should be a Davis has just gone very high. I'm thinking they were looking for the gap. G turns into Christer. McNaughton isolated on his own left wing. Christer's got choice of Davis or Rock. Davis looking for Christer. Christer, can he touch it to Rock? Not quite. Can see what they were trying to do there. Langley, is this his chance? It's not unknown for not unknown for Langley to dribble it all the way into goal, but solid defence there from Dixon and Christer. Ball's given to Throttles, kick in. Bit of a gap here if Rock breaks. Has to be really accurate. Davis has filled it. If he lets it go and Rock's gone already, there's a chance of a goal, but Christer put it into danger zone there, Davis back into his own danger zone, but 2-on-1 given. G and Langley just a nudge too close to each other. Langley, I can hear him on the pitch giving clear instructions to his team. Rock for Davis. Langley's captured that though. Less than 10 minutes left in this second half. Nil all still. Yeah, 3 points here. Be really push Nottinghamshire. Just closer to Brighton and Leeds, who both seem to be struggling themselves. And it would take Throttles away up into the top half. So Rock for Throttles in the corner. Rock looking for Krista. Again, Langley's read it. I think you'd expect that. I think they'd be disappointed, Nottinghamshire, with their experience if just a straight corner and a strike was to get past them. Going to have to find something a little more inventive, Throttles, to beat that defence that Nottinghamshire have got. But clearly it is being beaten. Got heavy goal difference. Seven and a half minutes left. Rock trying to do the work now. Again, Langley and Hadfield acting as the barrier. McNaughton and G not really playing any part in the defence. Got two slightly dislocated elements of the team there for Nottinghamshire. McNaughton's now on the wing. G's come into the defence. You've got that wall of three. Langley, Hadfield and G. Rock essentially aiming at Langley's bumper. Hadfield forcing it forward. Krista comes back to defend. Now G and McNaughton high, all high for Langley's following Hadfield up, so you've got all of the Nottinghamshire team high. Davis playing really close to the goal line. Nottinghamshire dropping back again. Familiar spine, Hadley, Langley. I think there's a two-chair wall. G on the right, McNaughton on the left. Unusually for a West Brom team, Dixon's playing very far back, deep as a keeper, not offering himself up. So 5 minutes to break the deadlock. Draw does neither team any good. G again, gonna be able to. I don't think you can take it past Dixon, but we'll find out. No, well defended. Norton, just again, pace not quite on the ball that either team would want. I think as a result, they're both able to intercept each other's balls relatively easily. Dixon and Langley now killing the ball between them across the park. Given to West Brom if they're quick now. If they get this move fast, they had the positional advantage, but McNaughton and G back quickly. Rock. Sure what happened there, but Krista to Rock. Good ball to Davis. Davis keeping the pace on it. Langley goes past Langley. What's Rock going to do? Driven down the wing. Langley comes away from Rock, but immediately faces Krista. Krista for West Brom, trying to take it away from him. Right, now's a chance. Move it, Nottinghamshire. No, off Krista. So set play possible off a kick in. Langley wanted to take it fast. G killed it there, but killed it onto Davis's bumper. Puts the advantage back to... Now, this is the chance. Is it a cross or is he going for goal? Ooh, I think he was looking for Rock, but didn't. Sorry, Dixon didn't make it. Good read, though. I think if Davis tried to cross or shoot, it was gone nowhere. Kept the ball alive. It's now with Hadfield and Dixon. I think there, Rock needs to drop away. Hadfield causing some consternation in the West Thrussell's goal. It's not giving up. Heavy pressure. Just a little glitch and it'll be away from them, but Krista's got it. Krista runs into McNaughton. McNaughton. Now the team quite controlling the ball here, kind of. It's just moving with them. Ball locked up between Krista and Langley. Langley away to G. G move it fast to Langley. Langley to McNaughton, you'd hope, but Rock's read that, coming really well there to read that. Now Davis, I think, trying to get it, play it off Langley to speed the ball up. Two a really good turn there by Langley. He lost it at the back, but before you knew it, he turned and captured it. So a lot of teams, they're both neutralising each other here, but neither team able to create that breakaway moment. 2.5 minutes left. Both working very hard to take some 3 points away from this. Neither look interested in a draw. Hadfield. Dixon trying to get it to Davis, no luck. Langley on the left wing for Nottinghamshire. Langley to McNaughton. McNaughton plays it off, but straight to Krista, really. Just takes the wind out of Nottinghamshire. Sails, and now they're back on the defensive footing. Krista and Rock are going to be 2-on-1 there if it's not a kick in. Kick in for West Brom. We're a bit lucky there, but that's what it is. So West Brom Thrussels now with the ball. Krista's going to take it. Solid defensive wall set up by Forrest, Langley, Hadfield, G. So unless they can find a gap here, which they haven't done. No one on that from Thrussels. Krista to Hadfield. McNaughton for Nottinghamshire. Pressing forward. If McNaughton can find G on the far post, there's a shot on for G. But Krista and McNaughton lock the ball up. Krista, Langley put immediately onto him. So Langley trying to find something for his teammates. I think the clock's at 0. It's a corner. This is the last chance, but so concentration needed from Thrussels. Langley will be very sharp. can't let this get one slip through. G on the far post if it goes through. Dixon's got it covered, and I think that's it. So a long, hard-fought 0-0 point apiece, which does neither of them much to the table. I suppose a psychological point for Forest, their first point of the sorry, for Nottinghamshire, their first point of the season. Okay, so we've got one match left today. If you're listening and expecting to tune in, normally it would be 16:45. I'd be astonished if they didn't kick off about 16:20. Running very fast today, for reasons I can't fathom. It might be because there's only one speed test machine that's out in the hall, but well ahead of schedule, and no one's inclined to slow down. So I expect around 16:20 you might see the next and final match of today kick off. Good afternoon. I think we're kind of getting ready for the 4:45 kick-off. That looks like it's going to be about 4:30.
What is going on, Nick, today? The times
are... We ought to have a word with the officials.
We're ahead, and it's... I think earlier we nearly got caught short because we didn't realise they were 50 minutes ahead and only just turned off for the speed test. It's like there has to be some form of comms around, like, call for teams or something. I don't know, but, yeah. It's,
suggest it to the League Management Committee. Okay. This is almost as bad.
Are you part of that?
My daughter came home yesterday for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, when did the clocks go forward? She said, oh, they've already gone forward. I've changed mine. I said, well, you can't have done because you were late. You'd have been early for our meeting if you changed your clocks. She's sure she's put her watch forward.
No, it's not. It's the last weekend in March.
That's what I thought.
It's always a last weekend in October and then March, I believe.
You can't tell your kids anything, do you?
No, well, I wouldn't know nothing. Anyway.
You got a cousin, a nephew.
I've got a nephew. Yeah. I've got a nephew to keep me in check. So, 4:45. We're kicking off at 16:22. Aspire v Sevenoaks. Court A. What have Aspire done today, Nick? Do we know?
We do. I think they've only played once. They had a late start, and it was a 2-0.
A 2-0 against Throssels. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not a bad result for Throssels.
What, a loss?
No, but 2. You know, 2 rather than the big figures that it used to be when I was playing for them. But we didn't score.
And how many were down to you? They can't. They don't normally attribute goal difference to team.
I gave them
goal
a fighting
chance.
If there was a stat about how many attacks they'd have had, I bet they'd have had more in my day.
Okay.
Attacks in the final third or whatever, the Opta stats. Okay, so what, have you been here all day, Nick?
I have.
I've not seen many results, I've got to admit.
I'd say everything's gone to form. The only one, not really form, was Nottinghamshire got a point from Throssels, actually.
Okay.
So that's Nottinghamshire's first point. It doesn't change their league position, but...
Oh, no, it's going in. It's going in. It's in. It's in, and it's...
McClellan.
I think, has he got a touch on that?
I'll give him a touch.
We'll give him a touch, but the pass, who was it? Was it Kyle? Was it Greg? Was it Miles? I can't... I wasn't watching, I think. It was Miles who tried an attempted pass. Aspire player got there first, and it's literally trickled past Greg, but Dan McKellen's got there first. Nah, John.
So I've never seen that before. The refs checking with the players if they scored it or not. Not unreasonably, John Boulding steps in and says, I'll have that one.
John Boulding's having it over Dan McKellen, who's like 14, 15.
Yeah.
So
John's barely been near the ball.
It's about 5,000 goals for John and a handful for Dan McKellen in his very early career. Oh, there we go. This is going. Oh. John
See,
there.
Now, I was commentating on some of the earlier matches, and I thought, am I being harsh? Because I'm saying that I don't think the players are moving the ball fast enough, and as a result, they're not getting past players. And then I've just seen John hit that pass. You have to, if you move it at that pace, you beat everyone, don't you?
Well, exactly, but you've got to be accurate with it. But I think West Brom today have barely done that sort of power.
Right.
It has been kind of like slowing the game down and then speeding it up.
Is that because the air in here is thicker because of the temperature or something? Everyone's just not quite been on it.
I don't know. It's been a while since the last National League weekend, so I don't know whether there's, people have had big breaks or whatever. But we feel as though, we've been training okay.
Right.
We played regionals just last week, so we feel like we've been okay. But the first game we found hard today, but Villa did defend well.
So even you've been training okay in your 5th decade? Congratulations.
Thank you.
40
just the other week, indeed. I think I'm the oldest player in the Prem. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they're what people have had enough of most of.
I was on the list for the over 100 goals.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're doing some stuff on social media about John Boulding's got about 400.
Right.
Ed Commons approaching 200. I'm on 110.
Do you know if you're third, or there's some other
there's
players who might have left now who?
I'm about 20th on the list,
right.
Maybe. Well, no, 15th. I think 15, 16.
I didn't see them play, but they were maybe Charlie Kidd.
Well, Charlie's still on the list. Charlie Kitcher, here's a stat for you. Charlie Kitcher's still got more National League goals than Marcus Harrison.
Wow, that is a stat.
Yeah, there was a bit of banter on social media the other day that Charlie hasn't played for 4 years and he's still got more than Marcus.
They're going to say Charlie never paid his subs.
Marcus doesn't either. So.
Now, just a little diversion. I saw Charlie the other day.
Okay.
At Arsenal-Everton game.
Yeah,
to my astonishment, I went to see the Arsenal game. Someone
Okay.
had a spare ticket, and I forgot Charlie was an Everton fan, which I did know. He's wearing this funny kit. He said he was Everton, and it turned out the guy with him, who was one of his best mates, had never seen Everton score. He'd been taking Charlie to a few games, and Arsenal won 4-0. And I felt Charlie said he might have to ditch his men because as things went, it was getting bad for Everton.
Yeah,
he was on good form.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
So there is life after the National League, it appears.
There is. I'm just checking the Birmingham City score. Apologies. 1-0.
Against?
QPR.
Are Burnley playing today, or are they in the FA Cup?
No, it's FA Cup at 5:45, I believe.
And I'd lost track. Is it quarters or
I believe so.
last 16?
I believe it's quarters.
Yeah, I mean, this is a terrible thing to say.
Spurs are
I'd
winning.
I'd forgotten Burnley had really only just dropped out of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because they're storming the Championship, aren't they?
They're about 17 points clear now, which
It's
is
crazy
for that league. But it's whether they can do it in the Premiership, is whether they can be competitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, looks like he's a good manager.
Company.
Yeah, I think.
Has he, the fact he's there, has that attracted some new younger players?
I'd have thought so. I know he's got a few from Man City. He's got that Nathan Teller from Southampton.
Right. Now, talking of younger players, of course, on this pitch we've got...
That was nearly a handball, and that's literally a straight... I would have thought that's a foul there.
We've got Beswick for Sevenoaks, who's kind of been doing his time in the Premiership, still a young lad.
So he's improving, isn't he?
McClellan recently joined Aspire.
I can't see how that wasn't a foul. Right in front of us there.
Who's the ref?
John Bold. Oh, some bloke called Jeff Lewis.
There you go.
I think he's interested in doing a commentary with me tomorrow. Is that a father and son? I'll see in your face. I've just turned my head to look at you, and you were nearly rolling your eyes.
It's not disallowed under current regs. We could have a committee meeting this evening.
An emergency one, which my dad is also part of.
We have had refs, so Kaz Bean and Kath McNichol.
We'll probably start disagreeing now and arguing, so you have to be taken off air. Beep.
Service is interrupted, unusually not for a technical failure. So we haven't really got much action here, have we? We've had that early goal for Aspire. I'd say they're looking dominant. They've had most of the territorial possession. I
think there is a goal in this for Sevenoaks. I've got to say, there is a goal in this.
Isn't there always? Aspire always have a...
I think
almost. We were too high up. They scored.
Yeah, well, exactly. Whenever the goalie's out, I think there's always a possibility of. John's going to whip. No, I thought he was going to whip that on the second touch.
But I'd have to check the stats. They've always got 2 or 3 goals in them.
So well, exactly. Yeah, a big spin. I do think there's an element that, and I can, there is an element that players turn to the reverse spin too quickly. Really, if the reverse spin's got to be used for finishing a chance when it's coming across the back post, maybe, or front bumper, or if you're switching the play. But like Miles, then, I think it would have been better to keep that ball moving, keep possession, but instead he tried a reverse spin and given the ball straight away. There's a player on his right he could have just half spun it to and kept the ball. So,
If you've got it in your locker, though, early on, it's very tempting, I guess.
I will fully admit that I do it a lot. Well, I certainly used to when I played for Thistles, but I was very keen to get them on the attack, get them up the pitch. So, missing some fouls there. This is just turning into a... that's what the third one.
Takes a bit more now to get the red mist up and you just bash it around.
I'm relaxed. I'm like a...
Is that what happens when you get to second in the league? You chill out.
Second, yeah. You know, I mean, really, it's an honorary first, really. I'll be taken off air in a minute.
So I think, I'm not... Thunder were top with the game in hand.
Yes.
I think they won, so I think they're still top.
They'll be top, yeah. We've just won beaten Teesside 3 or 4 now. Can't remember now.
Dave, playing for West Brom, if you're not familiar, but
sorry, yes,
should be.
West Brom, yeah. I've moved. There's a lot, you know. It's very different. Probably can't say too much, but it's very different. Certainly discover the level that we're trying to get ourselves to and get the sport to. It's a lot to take on board, you know. It is, but really enjoyable when it comes off. Probably not so enjoyable when it doesn't quite work, but you can't win them all, as they say. Oh no, yeah.
Play. Now, was that miscued by Dan, or he had to send it to the other side?
I think he could have finished it this near post, but I don't think he had quite had the angle to do it.
Yeah.
So I think he made sure by
really sharp
switching it across. Yeah. Marcus tried to nick one of my goals, and it was already over.
That's the way Marcus racks his numbers up, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was given to me.
So I was going to ask you saying that we were talking earlier about our teams moving the ball fast enough and learning to move it fast enough. We were talking about the pace John Boulding was putting on the passers. There we've got the ball. I think it was maybe the third or fourth ball at which someone took the strike, not the second.
Okay.
Just seen another massively paced ball there from John Boulding. And you were talking there about moving up from Throssell's to West Brom and what you're having to learn despite the number of years you got in the game.
Oh, it's...
now, ignoring the time when the chairs changed, given the current set of chairs, what is it that's different that's making you perform better?
So what you mean for me personally or the team? So
a bit of both.
I have done a lot of work. I think I was fortunate in lockdown, and we're going back a few years. It was a terrible time for people, but I did make good use of the time watching a lot of videos. Since then, I kind of came back a different player.
I was hoping for a better answer. How did you improve? I just sat down and watched telly.
The telly.
So tell me what you were taking out of.
But I was just looking at more. I mean, I've always been a player that has got sort of good technical ability. He's striking the ball, but I felt my understanding of the game probably wasn't as good as everyone else. Half the time, for Throssell's, I'd spend charging round, and I called it putting out fires. So there'd be a problem there, I'd get there. There'd be a problem there, I'd get there. But now it's kind of more sort of tactical based. So the players around me as well are sort of within the top of the game, and I don't mean that disrespectfully to anyone at Throssell, but we have got sort of 5 England players in the squad. There is that understanding, and when you pass the ball you get it back.
So do you think watching the videos change your decision making? I wasn't expecting
definitely.
that to be
decision making, especially in the importance of playing backwards. If you watch the videos, we played regionals last week. We scored 8 goals in 2 games. I think 5 of them were scored with the first initial ball went backwards.
Right.
Look at how many teams here today have scored goals by just coming down the line, switching across and goal.
So just to clarify, you don't mean the player was playing backwards, you mean the ball went...
The ball went backwards, so we had a kick in, say, halfway line. Instead of passing it towards the goal we're scoring in, we're passing it back towards our own goal to switch out the other side. But it's about overloads. So this is what I've learnt most since I'm saying all these secrets, but he's been very vocal himself. You look at overloads and look at where we've got more players than them. So if you pass it backwards, you've often got the 2 pivots, the middle and the goalkeeper, with just 1 winger. So then you're almost trying to draw them out to go back in behind them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So fascinating. There's a couple of teams today I've seen, and it just felt to me like the keeper and the centre were just too close. So essentially they're one unit. So they're doing a lot of blocking, they're doing a lot of work, but actually they're not creating a 2-man outlet.
Who was that? Who was that?
Well, Bournemouth and Nottingham, in fact, were playing very tight. So they were working hard to defend, even though Bournemouth were letting a lot of goals. But when it came to attack, essentially there were 3 units on the pitch, not 4. They're too close.
I
think you're talking about those pivots, not them actually being quite wide.
They'll
and
actually,
separate apart,
they'll,
won't
they'll actually be very well spread.
Yeah.
So we're finding more now the wingers will come back and take kick-ins, and the two pivots will spread across the pitch. I mean, yeah, fair enough, that does leave a large gap, but from a set piece, you should be able to deliberately, to put that ball where you want. So the risk is very small. But then it's when it gets open play, and that's when you've got to keep keep in shape, so to speak. We talk about being in line with the posts.
Yeah.
So at least then, that's the width for the goal.
Yeah.
So you're on the left post, I'm on the right post.
So you're leaving the width for the goal open,
but
notwithstanding.
In theory, when you turn your chair, you're covering most of it,
So that was the other thing I was. So I'm seeing a lot of teams under pressure just put the ball up. It almost like, well, it might not be our ball, but now the ball's 30 yards, not 30, but 10 yards further away from goal.
Okay.
And all that happens is they invite the pressure back on, because then the likes of West Brom and Aspire go, great, I've now got possession from set. I can set this overlaid play up and
no, you're right. Yeah.
So you would recommend people watch historic footage, which we didn't used to have, and look at the decision making from players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just the skill, not the skill. Well, look at some of the skills, but look at the decision making.
Look at some of the skills, but there's a lot of players that can hit a good ball. There's a lot of players who can battle, but it's understanding the game is the challenge. I do believe that, and it's you've almost got to get what's being asked. Because if you don't, especially like Chris Gordon's team and his coaching, he's a phenomenal coach. If you don't get it, it's going to expose you.
I think Chris has left. You don't need to.
Oh, he'll probably watch it. He'll be watching. Hello, Chris. But no, he's a brilliant coach. So if you don't understand, you're going to get caught out.
Yeah.
It's going to show. You're going to look like a divvy, basically.
Bringing that back to the game here, your point about Dan McClellan going, actually, this is a bit hard for me to turn into the goal. I'm going to put it back to Brad.
Yeah.
That gives us the scoring opportunity. Well,
exactly.
Not just the shooting opportunity. Yeah. That gives us the scoring opportunity. We
call it an extra pass. But there is that, because, we have been doing stuff at West Brom, and when we first sort of started, the season's been very sporadic and spread out, but we found it difficult at the start of the season to put the ball through the post. We do all this lovely passing, 8, 9, 10 passes, and it's like, oh shit, pardon me, we haven't scored. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's actually, who's going to score? And I have done well in regionals. I've got like 12 goals, so I like to think I'm understanding it better than I did at the start of the season. But the biggest problem in this sport, and I think this is where West Brom teams can learn from West Brom, is the biggest problem is how to score goals. It's like, if you look at today's scores, you've got 2-0, 0-0, lots of few 0-0s, I believe, 1-0s, I mean, Sevenoaks here now. I know they're playing a phenomenal player in John Baldwin, but they don't really look threatening.
Yeah.
Is that fair? I don't mean to be disingenuous.
So, as a commentator, I've never played, but looking at it, and I'm thinking, I can't see where the chance is going to come from.
Yeah, but look at that now, bang.
But put that to the running game, and was it Crystal Palace? Hadn't had a shot on goal for 3 matches.
Yeah.
So it's like they go 1-0 down, and it's, well, we don't need to worry. They're not even shooting at goal.
Well, exactly. So I'd be disappointed, and you in this sport now, you have to be able to hit that ball. You've got to be able to put 3, 4, 5 passes together. Otherwise, you ain't going to score a goal.
So I think, would it be fair to say that perhaps a number of years ago, you might have had players who were struggling with the skills. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I'm seeing any players struggling with the skills now in the Premiership, but some of the teams are putting together they haven't changed the tactics sufficiently.
I don't know whether that's the coaching.
Yeah.
Is there an element that the coaching needs improving to understand how to get those 4 or 5 passes going?
But the players will be working harder at their own skills
definitely.
now, won't they?
Definitely.
From what I've seen and heard, and
I think
what people did over lockdown.
Exactly. I think there is, there were some underground power chair football sessions going on in lockdown as well. I know we shouldn't talk about it. It's a few years now, but
there'll be a parliamentary inquiry, mate.
People did, still get out and even in the street and practice. Do you know what I mean?
Midlands Police will be on to you.
Even in the street. Do you know what I mean? So it was. personally, I've done that. I've also done my coaching badges the last sort of 4 to 5 years. That has helped.
That's helped you with power chair.
Yes, definitely. Because there's elements you can put into. If you watch mainstream football, I do believe there's crossovers. If you look at everyone in the England squad, current England squad, everyone goes to watch football regular. There isn't a player there that.
Birmingham football.
Thank you for that.
Oh, it just falls into.
We've got Lewis Harris as well. He's a Birmingham fan. 2 Birmingham fans in the England squad.
I'll make sure I mention that to Lewis next
time. But the biggest thing in this sport is scoring goals. If you look at Sevenoaks. I mean, Brussels, Nottingham, Bournemouth.
Last season, Sevenoaks. I think they took. Maybe it was this season. Took 4 or 5 games to score.
Well, this is only the second weekend.
They're loaded with people who can score.
Yeah.
We know Miles can score, we know Kyle can, we know Barry can. Greg can, although now Greg plays much more in the keeper position. So, we're 2-0. Yeah, we're not looking at any threat from Sevenoaks, are you? I mean, you and I are sitting in the Aspire goal.
We haven't really been down there.
We haven't seen any of the Sevenoaks players' faces.
No, that's what I mean, until that happens, I mean, this is like a routine game now for Aspire, and it's not even half time yet. So I think there's elements where I don't know. They are playing a very good team, but when Sevenoaks come to play Brussels, Nottingham, what's the score going to be in those games? I honestly don't think we're going to see a 3-3 because they'll just cancel each other out to an extent.
That's quite tough then, isn't it? Because really, let's say over the last 4 years, the game's progressed quite a bit because Sevenoaks and Nottinghamshire would have been teams at the top. They'd have been given it a run for the money. And Nottinghamshire are evidently struggling at the moment, 5 games in.
I remember them both finishing 4th in the league, Premier League. So I know probably wouldn't bet that they're going to be. See, John Nair's just took that shot, okay? Right, but he's had the thought to do it. A lot of players will let that ball run past him and it'll go out for a kicking. But John's, got it in his, in his locker to actually think, yeah, I'm going to spin and smash this. He knows there's nobody behind him because the 2 defenders are on the goal line, so you can't have a 3rd defender in the box. So,
plus the pace he's hitting that, it's only going to come back to him. Exactly. To give him a chance of control,
exactly,
isn't it?
And there's a goalie back anyway, so even if it did rebound more the length of the pitch, it's not going to go in because the goalie should be, it's having that creativity, and again, I'll come back to mainstream football, you've got to have players that have got something about them. If Arsenal didn't have Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka,
Jesus,
you wouldn't score goals, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They didn't have Ramsdale, I might not let him in either. Did you see the lob against Lisbon? I couldn't decide whether
highlights.
Even if Ramsdale had been back, he would have saved because it was an astonishing.
It was a
lob,
good goal. It was a good.
It just felt like Ramsdale opened himself up to a bit. Anyway, now we've still got the camera on the Aspire team. Where do you stand on big squads?
Oh,
There's always that challenge of. You're allowed 8. I think you're allowed to bring 8.
Yeah.
You're allowed to register as many as you like, but you can only bring 8 to a weekend.
Okay. I think 6 is a good number. In saying that, I'm coaching Dudley in the Championship, and I bought 7/8 last time. It was too much, and then I do end up feeling bad about the players you can't give so much.
You're not giving
time.
good players enough time.
I think if you do it, you've got to clearly say to the guys that maybe won't get so much time. Listen, you're coming. There might be a classification issue. They might have a couple of PF1s. Like in the squad, in case anything happens, but some of them might only get 5 minutes.
Might you do it perhaps with someone who's getting the experience, a season or 2, not quite as many minutes to step into a more senior squad?
Probably, I don't know. I would prefer them to play, say, for Aspire. They've got Muscle Warriors in the Championship. I would personally say, right, go and play for them for a season. Learn
Muscle
the game.
with a big squad as well.
Oh yeah, Muscle was a big squad. So I would personally, if you've got to do it whereby you say I've got 2 PF1s who need to provide cover, I'd do 1 on one day and 1 on the other. So you don't have 8, you'd have 7 on each day. So personally, I think 6 is the ideal number there.
So I was slightly surprised that West Brom had stepped down to a squad of 6 for the
Well, he's
Premiership.
got 6 very good
Yeah,
Galacticos, you know what I mean?
I'm not saying they're not, but last season you could almost swap 4, and you had.
But everyone now,
pretty good.
Chris has got, we've had a lot of chats today, and I don't need to go into it, but Chris has got an issue, and a problem now, but a good problem in the sense of he's got 6 players he can put on. Any 4. I mean, he has to abide by classification. Whereas he probably hasn't had that. There's always been a player that has come along just for a bit of cover and not put on when they're 5-0 up. He hasn't got anyone who can do that now, because we're going to be saying, Chris, any chance of a game? I've been vocal today. In between games we've had a meeting, and obviously they said, I can change a game in an instant, and I believe that, and I'm sitting on the bench for the whole half.
Every time I bring you off.
So
Come on, Dave, you make it too easy.
Yeah, so
should we give you a rest for half time? And we'll come back in a minute.
I'm all right. As long as you're okay, Nick. That's the main thing. We'll be home earlier.
Yeah, we will.
We will be. So no, it's tricky, but the game is different things to different people. Obviously, I'm very privileged to be involved in the England squad, and it is my last chance at being successful. I ain't going to make the next World Cup squad. So
are you the eldest recall ever?
Yeah.
What about Sheringham?
Well, John's the same age as me now as when I was dropped, and I had 5 years off. So John's got to retire now for 5 years.
I'm talking all England.
Oh, all England. Mike Newell or something, I don't know. Did he come back?
Or,
someone daft like that.
Did Sheringham get a late recall because he played into his 40s, didn't he? And
certainly in power chair, I doubt. I mean, I saw Colin today, and I think there's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek. Some of the kids are looking at thinking, what the hell is he doing in the squad, But I hope people can see when I play that
you saw Colin,
I deserve to be there.
He kind of passed you without talking. Oh no, he's seen me play.
So no, but no, I absolutely. It's a privilege to be back involved, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. We've got to go to Sydney and hopefully win a World Cup. I don't want to say we're definitely going to do it. I'm not definitely going. I hope I am. It's
the problem I've created for myself that you guys need to solve for me. So I've said I'm not getting my hair cut until England win a World Cup.
What, any England team?
Any England team under the FA.
Yeah.
So the running guys holds it up in
the women might win.
So the women in Australia.
Yeah, that's just before us.
You're my last chance until 2026. So I need my hair cut before next Christmas.
You'll be stepping on it. You'll be get caught in your feet.
So if the women don't do it, I'm relying on you.
I honestly believe we can, and that's not complacency. It's just the confidence. The one other thing I'll say, you have to have confidence. And I've played games, and I've talked openly before about being part of the national squad and feeling like I didn't belong then. And that's the worst feeling you can have, Whereas now I'm thinking, I want to play, Whereas before I was like, no, don't put me on, And I got to that point, and that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Because you feel you're going to mess up, But that was understanding the game. I didn't understand the game enough to, sort of help the team.
You felt you could step on and hit the ball, but everyone would go, why have you done that?
Well, why have you done that? Why have you hit it over there when so-and-so's over there? And I would be really predictable. So that, the wing would be there, and I'd be like, but now I'll have a touch and just flick it out the other side, and that's the fundamental difference now.
I saw you earlier have 3 cracks at goal.
I think Chris was saying...
I can't remember who that was against.
I think the third one, Chris was saying, basically, get out the bloody way.
Right, let's get back to this game. So it's 2-0, Aspire 2-0. Leading 2-0, 7x for the home team. 7x0, Aspire 2.
Go on. That's a good ball, But again, John there...
We'll just walk through the squads again. So we've got Baxter in goal in pink, playing away from us for 7 Oaks. Kyle Alexander in the middle, Miller on the left, and Bestwick on the right. Facing us for Aspire in yellow.
Oh no. Whoa. It's a bit physical.
That's what you expect, isn't it?
His own's coming.
Ref?
You think it's play on? It's not dangerous, I don't think.
Okay.
So. It's not dangerous. When it goes out, they'll stop the game.
Right, so sorry, I was going through this bar team.
A player's hand just came off a control, I believe.
Kelly facing us Spalding in the middle, Williams on the right.
I've never seen this before. They're letting you have the ball. They've actually given the ball back. Now they're giving the ball back.
Well, you've never seen gentlemanly play?
Not in power chair football. I think they've actually... Kyle kicked the ball out, so Jordan could get his hand back on.
Right.
And then, so basically they're just going to knock it
Johnny
back.
said,
there
get
you
it
go.
back.
You say, play off that.
Right.
That's fair. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
You have to clap near the mic, because it...
I can't clap. I know I can see all flapping his hands. Yeah, so, yeah. It's been fairly routine for Spire so far. I do think when I play for Throttles, and I don't want to go on it, I think when you play the top teams, and I mean West Brom, Aspire, Thunder, you have to go and give them something to think about. You can't just be sitting back and thinking, well, yeah, we'll try and defend for 40 minutes, because it ain't going to happen. I've been there, done it, tried to do it. You've got to threaten their goal.
That's what, as watching Ryan Skinner and Matt Adams for Bournemouth, and they were reading the game really well.
Yeah, but probably
but
not
they're
crossing the
inviting
halfway line.
40 shots.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. And even just a small percentage of them have to go in, and you've got to find 5 or 6 return opportunities.
It's hard to keep that focus.
Yeah.
Keep that focus. Oh, look at.
And I might have been reading too much into it, but it just looked like once a couple of goals went in, just the heads dropped slightly.
Yeah,
and
it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're probably going to play a whole season without picking up a point, maybe. But this is where I wish teams, players would just stick at it a little bit and, just support their teams. John's going to go for a big one here.
Yeah, but you can't say Bournemouth aren't sticking at it.
No. I'm not blaming Bournemouth,
squad.
I just think if a player leaves, they've had a player leave. They've unfortunately had a couple of players pass away in the last couple of years, but the player who left had gone to another club, it's just like, you've done all that work to stick with them, and then...
But that's why I also had in the back of my mind asking about the squad size, but, if you're taking 8, that's, say, 2 players who would want to play in the Premiership, and might operate in teams elsewhere.
I do, there isn't...
I don't think there's a regulatory. I wouldn't say change the regs, but
could you do a loan system type of thing whereby
I think
does it work?
I think we've struggled with that in when we think about that it works no better than the transfers, because you only have 5 weekends. You can't loan mid-weekend, so really you're loaning.
It'd be a transfer, really.
Yeah. So and there's no difference between a transfer and a loan in that sense, because everyone's unregistered at the end of the season.
Because they have it in the women's game. It's the same in the women's game, especially the level West Brom are at, Tier 3. So they will, say, want to sign a goalkeeper, just for sort of 3 games. But it has to be a transfer. There's no loans, no loan system.
But at least they can, they can chop it for a short period. Whereas you all turn up for that, those few weekends.
No, you are.
You couldn't. I suppose. The regs do allow for emergency loans. So I think if there was a team went several people down, I think the league committee wouldn't say no.
No.
But as a standard practice of loans, it is no different from a transfer, really.
But saying that, say if Dudley wanted to sign the player because they only had 3, they couldn't sign Chris Gordon, could they?
But because he wouldn't go.
He wouldn't go, but he couldn't play for West Brom and then go and play for Dudley.
No, that's what I mean. You'd have to. Essentially, it locks it up either for the next transfer window or for the end of the season, because you've only got those 2.
No, I understand that.
But it does, in a way, it pulls a bit of talent out of actually the playing hours, doesn't it? Where you have bigger squads in the better teams.
I've not seen. With Nomads, you have to admire what they've done. They've taken players from the Premiership who weren't playing, and then, Abby Galbolt wasn't playing for Sevenoaks. Person on the other wing, I can't remember their name. Kai Shah wasn't playing for Sevenoaks.
Right.
Taken them and now built a team strong enough to win the Championship. What looks like. Will they be able to then compete in the Premiership. So with that bad as coaching, knows the sport, is that going to lift them up? Is that going to keep them up?
I have to say, having seen a bit of Nomads, I mean, they looked like they were moving it quick.
Well, they beat Villa in the cup.
Making the right decisions.
Beat Villa in the cup, don't you?
So it's Man U and Nomads knocking it out for the championship, although both look clear to promotion.
Well, Man United had a terrible last weekend, so I think they dropped down to third. I'm sure Eels might be second. I'll try and have a look. Of course, one another skill needed for this game is you've got to be able to control the chair really, really well. It's a lot of players, younger players.
By that, you don't mean directionally. You mean the softness of the bumper. And
the bumper, the reversing. You've got to be able to reverse backwards, know where the opposition, know where the players are on the pitch. And then you throw a ball into the mix as well. You've got to be able to reverse and take the ball. So
for the younger players, how do you acquire that? Just hours and hours and hours of balls getting hit at you, and
it's practice. Yeah, I mean, Marcus is a stickler for it. He'll take the ball on the line and reverse back. It's just hours of practice. Hours of practice. It obviously helps.
Even the likes of Marcus will still be putting in hours.
Great
save there from Kyle. Another fast move ball. Kyle doesn't read that pass, and it's a goal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Check the football scores.
Excuse the breaking commentary while people look at the running game.
We're just trying to get out the way of the corner as well. 3-3, Southampton Spurs.
Wow, that's a comeback.
4-2 Leeds against Wolves.
2
Birmingham.
Who's Wolves winning or Leeds?
No, Leeds. 4-2 to Leeds.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm worried about. So I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm thinking, oh no, they've just sacked Vieira, because these clubs have a habit of a bounce back, don't they? They sack a manager and then they get a result.
Yes, that's true.
Otherwise, Palace would have been a
Derby lost at home. That's about.
So we've got 10 minutes left. I think it feels like the pace has picked up. I'm not quite sure what's changed it, whether Sevenoaks have just lifted the game a bit.
Finish. Yes, I see. Technique let Miles down there, unfortunately.
He's a player you'd rely on for technique, isn't he?
You see then, I did one last week where the ball was coming to me, and I'd done a long time to see the ball coming to me, and I just literally shifted, wiggled the back of my chair, sort of to get a bit of separation, because I knew if I didn't let the ball roll to the side of me, I couldn't spin round to get the power. So I literally did a bit of a wiggle, and that's what he needed to do there, just get himself separated from the ball, so when he spun round, he'd make contact with it. Of course, it's very difficult. A lot of players can't also turn their heads and trying to look at the ball, trying to spin, drive the chair, and this is why the sport has to be admired. The skill levels are off the roof these days,
So where do you stand on almost? Can you have a specialist goalie in power chair football anymore?
I think it's moving away from it, I've got to be honest, but I think you need someone with the guts to be able to play there, receive the ball at the back. There's too many. I think there's a lot of players, or too many players who haven't got that confidence yet.
I'll tell you why I'm asking. So I think here we've got 2 goalies, Baxter and Kelly.
Well, they're part of the England development squad, aren't they? They're both.
Yeah,
I
don't know for certain, but I'd expect them both to be very comfortable at the back as the goalie. But I wouldn't expect them to be able to step into the centre the way Chris Gordon can, and then run the game.
I'll maybe offer an explanation as to I don't think they've got the mobility around the pitch. And what I mean by that is, you look at Chris, you look at me when I play, I get about the pitch.
And is that decision making on their part? They're their chairs are as fast.
I don't know. Is Greg's chair as fast as Chris Gordon's? I don't think it. looks slower, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's that acceleration, that initial burst.
Isn't that also part of the decision making? You're talking about, like here, Greg's 5 yards further back than Chris would be. Tom is further back than.
But here now as well. Earlier on, the winger was taking this. So then, if Kyle didn't take this now, they'd have two options at the back.
Yeah.
And that's what West Brom are doing more and more.
Yeah.
Instead of just having Chris there, Lewis, and I did it at the end of the last game. I split across the pitch. You know, I was told the guy expanded early, so you've almost got two options. You know, so you're almost you're coming backwards to draw them out, as I said earlier. You're getting to almost play in behind them. Do you know what I mean? Because
if you've only got one option,
yeah.
Both that pass and the subsequent one are probably getting red, aren't they?
Exactly. But the advantage of using the fourth player is you've always got three options in. You know, you just become less predictable.
Yeah.
And especially if those three then move, you know, it pulls teams apart, and that's what West Brom are all about.
See there, that was a lovely bit of play by.
That's never going to score now.
By Greg.
Yeah. Brilliant. No, he's doing well.
So,
Salier's got the better of him now down the line a little bit.
Being in the England development squad, then they will be being pushed. They won't be being allowed to sit.
Oh yeah, you know. I mean, I felt that this morning I was, you know, I felt quite. I don't know what's the word. Confused this morning after the game, you know, because we've tried a couple of different things, and obviously I am still new to the team. I have to respect that. I'm not new to the sport, but I haven't played the way West Brom.
You've got a brand new squad, haven't you? Like Dylan,
myself. Dylan and myself
probably
on the
four
new
left
ones.
because I think you had a bigger squad last year.
Well, they had 7. Brad, Barris, and Luke Kelly all left. So there's 3 in, 3 out. But I think the overall squad Chris knows it's got stronger, you know. And there's 5 of us in the England squad. But I think.
So you're 6 games in now. You're still feeling your way into the team, you'd say.
I think, you know, Chris said from the start we won't be at our best first weekend. We've then had this huge gap, you know, and we've had Chris hasn't been able to train every week because of family members being ill. Good little shot by Sally McNeil there. She probably needed to pop. That's one she needed to pop back across. Extra pass there. Brad Bates gone in the middle now, and John Baldwin's gone off.
So I think I've just seen a Villa Leeds draw on the other pitch. Just keeps Leeds sneaking up the table a bit.
It does. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to check the Championship table here. So Man United are second, still got 4 points on Middlesbrough, other team, but Middlesbrough have got 2 games in hand.
Oh, right.
So that's where, and Eels are 4th. So Middlesbrough could leapfrog into second with their 2 games in hand.
And third, currently, this season, no reason it should change in any other season. Third gets you into the Premiership playoff, doesn't it? Against third
it does,
from the bottom. So it's looking at the moment Nottinghamshire, Bournemouth.
So that would be a Brighton Middlesbrough at the minute if the season's finished now.
Or Leeds and Throssels are not that many points. You know, just a few points jostled out those next 3, don't they?
Throssels are 6, so they've got 10 points. So
okay.
They're above Teesside. Teesside got a game in hand. Leeds, Villa are 9th. Villa in 9th, but haven't they just won?
They just drew.
Okay, so that will put them on to 9. It's very tight in that.
Yeah.
Bottom half is extremely tight. Fossil's just inside the top half, so Seven Oaks are currently 4th. Seven Oaks are above Aspire before this game.
I'm wondering if the table's right.
Well, that's what I'm wondering as well.
Because Aspire have only lost one.
I'm just
Aspire have only lost one.
Yeah.
They got the right season.
Seven Oaks have got a better goal difference as well.
That's not right.
You questioning the WFA, man. Can we just screenshot it and send it?
I've got it open as well.
How long to go here now? Under 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
It's, if I may say so, this has not been a thriller.
It's
just been a steady performance by Aspire.
I was asking earlier on, Thunder won 1-0, and there were previous games. I think they were averaging 6 goals a game or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Seven Oaks have. You're right.
This is
I
where
have to apologise for that.
you don't get the. This is where the sports.
Yeah, sorry, what I was going to say though, but as soon as Thunder scored, so it's 1-0, there appeared to be no level of nervousness in the team. They clearly didn't feel they were going to concede. They didn't feel the chance had been put against them. They could now just put the rest of the game into, trying to get a second, which I don't think they did. But you've had that feeling here that Aspire, they might feel they've got a error.
Oh, I was about to see that. See that little adjustment there.
He'd listen to you.
See, do you see that? I call it a little wiggle.
Yeah.
It's not a little wiggle. There's probably a more technical term.
You can patent it.
But you know what I mean. You get the just move, just shuffle. When you're trying to get on a seat, when you've got to shuffle your bum back.
We'll
a bit.
call it a loo wiggle.
You've got to shuffle your bum back in a seat a bit. It's a bit like that. You see what I mean? Just to get if he hadn't moved, then he would have shanked that one again. Would have gone nowhere near the goal.
But to your point, it does 2-0 shouldn't be nailed on, but that doesn't feel like.
No, that had to go in for it to be.
Although Sevenoaks have had this press for quite a while, so I can see them scoring. Can they score 2? Can they score 3? Wouldn't have thought so.
So I think Greg there, that's the difference. Greg there can maybe, play that first time. I think he could have done, or had a touch and played.
So
but
as it is,
he's gone into contact.
It's trapped and the ball's out.
And that's the difference. Chris tells us to keep the ball out of contact.
Yeah.
He would rather us have a touch and then switch it.
Well, I found myself this weekend using the phrase "the ball's locked up." And to your point about Chris saying keep the ball out of contact, as soon as it's in contact and locked, the whole game stops, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone can move into position, everyone set up their defensive posture.
Yeah, I mean there is an unwritten rule, like go and beat your person, your man, or say, and it can be a woman, in contact and then get the ball moving. Because if you try and do both, because you can almost, like some players I can see, think, oh yeah, I must pass. And they end up like almost making an error.
Yeah.
They do neither. So it's, the ball will just go to them, bounce off them, and to the opposition team or something, and then you've lost the ball.
Yeah.
Think about this: you're never going to get 20 passes in a row. The ball changes hands so much. Even the spy here won't.
But I have seen,
have 20 passes. Do you know what I mean? That's a good ball.
I think
finish it.
One of the contenders for goal of the season.
That's a good ball.
It was either West Brom or might have been Teesside. I reckon it was close to 10 passes.
Okay.
They went round, back, down the wing, back up, and before it was finished.
But there is
really controlled.
Things like that, you've got to score after it.
Yeah.
Because that's 10 passes is 2 goals in my opinion. I can show you a lot of goals are scored 2 or 3 passes.
Right, last minute.
What we got on
So
tomorrow? You're not here tomorrow, are you?
Are we seeing either of the potential champions here?
Aspire will think they can win it. They've already lost one game, obviously. That
wasn't my question, because they always think they can win it this season.
I don't think we have. No.
Right. So Thunder, at the moment, untouchable. I don't think you can put that down to Thunder's fixtures so far. Sometimes early on you can.
Well, they've played Bournemouth with 3 players. They did have that luxury first game of the season, and that's the only thing.
But they're on points, not goal difference.
But on points, on points. But their goal difference is bigger because of that.
So you can see people taking points off.
I can see every team dropping points. West Brom have dropped points today, but I do think the league is super competitive now, and it's credit to the clubs that are trying to kick on and push on. I think Fossils have done well today. They're mid-table. Villa probably lower than they probably would like.
So
Leeds are 10th, and they've got some new players. They've got a different squad. So it's probably taking time for them to gel. I do worry about Brighton. Matt Francis.
So Matt's definitely not playing.
I did hear a rumour in the week, and then it's been confirmed today he's not here. I think he's got to work weekends and just a bit.
Oh, but, so someone had suggested
I feel
sorry. Back from the squad.
Well, I feel sorry for Brighton because it's happened before, and
there we go. Yeah, but they've got Luke, very experienced.
Yes.
Mason, up and coming.
What's the results been like today?
Not quite getting the results. So
because they're in the playoff place at the moment.
Yeah. 7-0 Aspire 2, so a good result for Aspire there, really.
Fairly...
a draw would have seen 7-0 stay above them. I think you can call that a 6-pointer, can't you?
I think 7 Oaks will be happy to finish mid-table. I probably won't expect to finish fourth.
Coming into that with the league position, they were. Definitely. A draw would have been good.
Be interesting to see who challenges for 4th and 5th, because Newcastle have had a mixed start to the first weekend, but they're actually 3rd at the minute, with West Brom, Newcastle in the morning. So we'll see how that one goes.
So, what have we learned today, Dave? So I've been surprised, not that you watch so much footage during lockdown, but what you took out of it was the decision making. A lot of the players will nail the skills. It's about the in-game decision making that's making the difference between those very top teams.
And for me, especially Chris's team, the overloads and the backward passes. If you don't do those, then you'll be sitting on the side watching a lot of the time.
But that's not the back That's not the back pass to your one option.
Oh no,
that's the back pass.
The pivots are splitting now, or getting in a line. You've been with England about. You've seen the thing getting in a line or split. But this depends if the wingers are wide or narrow. So you've got to look at the opposition. You've got to realise what the opposition are trying to do to you. I think a lot of players don't recognise.
Right.
So
they don't even recognise.
There's some players they won't say, okay, well he's over there now. What should I be? And I think it's that element of the game that also needs to improve. And then we'll get a few more competitive games.
Right. Well, thank you for your time today.
Enjoyed it.
I can't make it tomorrow, but I'm sure you'll join commentary if you can.
Well, yeah, me and my dad might do one for our son. We'll end up.
So the camera guys will be up there. You know how to sort that out.
Oh, yeah. I'll be here early in the morning.
So we'll sign off. I reckon we've seen 50 plus goals today on this court alone.
Just this court?
I think so.
Was West Brom over there then?
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Off.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.